everyone, we're here with Garrett from Maul. If you don't know them, you're fucking missing out. They are fucking fantastic. Great death metal. Um, in the Jaws of Bereavement is the new album coming out. I'm gonna get this wrong, so I just gonna preface it. Is it October 4th?
It is October 4th. Yeah,
Fuck yeah.
you did not get it wrong.
Good job.
Don't sell yourself short. Come on now.
Well, I was there was another one, another band has one coming out October 11th. Uh,
Okay.
Hell is Other People, and they're described as black gays. So
That's
it's
a
like
that's a fantastic band name, by the way. Hell is other people.
it is. They're really a fucking fantastic band.
Okay. Fuck yeah. I like that.
Yeah. So th in the Jaws of Bereavement, it is your first full length, right? With 20 bucks spin.
Yeah, it's the first full length. Yep. We did an EP with them last year.
Killer. And you guys are like a relatively new band, right?
I would say yeah, I would say for the general public of people getting to know us for sure. But I mean, we've been playing shows since 2017.
Okay.
So, we're coming up on 7 years in October. But yeah, for the general public, for the big gaze of things, yeah, we're pretty fucking new still. But we've been touring nonstop for the last 3 years. Um, I would say post shutdown pandemic is like
Yeah.
when we really started gaining our like during that and after that is when we started gaining traction
Moment.
and people knowing us. So
Hell
yeah,
yeah.
pretty new still for the grand scheme for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. But and it's so crazy because you're like, oh yeah, we've been playing for 7 years. And I'm like, oh fuck, you guys are still super new to me. Like, damn it. You know,
That's okay.
I wish.
Yeah,
Um,
that's all right. I don't ever take offense to anything like that. You know what I mean?
no,
Like even with like 20 bucks spin or even the label before redefining darkness. Like those are all such big steps up compared to what we were doing.
yeah.
Um, because we've always just been DIY. So a little bit more, a little bit more. Yeah, I don't ever take it offensive by any means.
Now the growth in fan base, I think, for a band is what they're always looking for, right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
You know? So, uh, God, so you guys been touring pretty regularly post pandemic. What what does your like when you guys go out, do you go out for like a month, a couple of weeks, or what's that look like?
I mean, we've done a little bit of it all. I would say that sweet spot for us is that 2 to 3 weeks, where it works just with like home lives, work lives, general fatigue. You know what I mean? Like it is still, it's not glamorous by any means to tour, and then put that into DIY death metal touring. It's even more niche, a little bit
Yeah.
more. We've thankfully been doing well enough for over the past couple of years. We bought a fucking shuttle bus where we built bunks into it and stuff, so we're way more comfortable than we've ever been on tour. And this last year proves that for sure. Where all six of us can have a full 6 foot lay down spot. You know what I mean? But there's still benches. We have a TV and a fridge now, but we've accumulated that all through touring the last few years and just invested it all into this project, which was the bus, the the touring rig, the Casa de la Mal, we call it. Um, um, yeah, that's been the lifestyle of the band. That's kind of always the like idea of them all was to tour. So we're just trying to make it as more comfortable as possible. We're doing per diems with the guarantees and the merch cuts. Or not the merch cuts, but the merch sales. Taking out of the equation of Airbnbs and hotels with the bus, so we can just stay at like a Love's or stay at wherever Platinum Fitness, wherever we're doing. Um, Take care of ourselves in the morning. Um, Yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot the original question.
It's like we were just talking. I asked about like touring for you all, what that looked like on a length.
Oh yeah, yeah. So comfortable lengths of it
Yep.
and stuff. Yeah. I mean, we're pretty comfortable with a month. Like I said, that sweet spot is 2 or 3 weeks. Where it's just like, the fatigue wears in maybe, or again, it's not the greatest lifestyle. It's definitely fun. It's definitely what we resonate with. But I don't know. We've never been in a situation where we've been like offered or putting together more than a month.
Yeah.
It's not that we wouldn't be against it. It's just that we haven't done it yet. You know what I mean? Like on that scale of being a new band, like the most we've done is like 34 days, like, and it was like 30 shows or 31 shows. It's
Yeah,
still a
but
lot, but
that is, I think I don't th I think a lot of newer bands don't understand what all goes into a month-long tour, right? Because it's, you guys have a bus now, but shit, you spend a month in the van and it's like, God, this sucks,
oh
you
yeah,
know?
absolutely. And we've done month-long runs in the van, and obviously not taking away from any band that's done longer in a van, but it sucks to try to pretend to fall asleep sitting upright,
Yeah.
doing the lean, doing the things like and driving a bunch. There's only a limit of us that are able, willing to drive. So yeah, those cycles obviously are tiring, but when you add in the bunks that we built and invested in, it makes it a little bit nicer. Um,
Hell yeah, it does.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Save money on hotels and whatnot, because those, like, that shit gets expensive.
Absolutely. Like, and we're in those situations now where we're at truck stops and it's like $16 to $18 to shower, and like sometimes that's really fucking worth it. You know what I mean? It's a lot
Yeah.
more worth it than a $120 to $180 room at a hotel. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
for essentially the same amount of sleep and the shower. You know what I mean? The shower is the biggest part. Like, that's your alone time. That's your fucking cleansing. That's yeah, it's just good for the mind. So,
Hell yeah, it is.
those truck stop showers come in handy.
Yeah, that they do. And Planet Fitness, I think Planet Fitness has been great for a lot of touring musicians too, because you spend, 10 or $20 a month on the thing, and it's like, oh, we can all go in for that $20 and fucking
Yep,
get showered up.
yep, and that's always sick.
Yeah.
That's always really nice.
So is
Yeah,
there like a favorite place for you to hit when you tour?
just like a standard, or like for
Yeah,
anything. Like,
yeah, like when you guys, say, well, I mean, primarily like as far as club goes, right? Like, oh, we really like hitting this place in this town because, you know, for whatever reason.
I mean, we've got a lot of like hometown feels in the Midwest, just based off of like our previous touring schedule and like what's close to us, what we can get to in 3 4 days. So there's a lot of very, very prevalent venues in the country that I would say, like, proudly, like the X-Ray Arcade in Milwaukee. Um, their whole thing is like the most infamous venue or whatever, the most famous. I can't remember what I. Now I'm gonna fuck up the thing, but and they're just outside of Milwaukee. They're actually in Cudahy, Wisconsin. But it's like, as far as the venue experience, the sound, the staff, the stage, the green room, like it's literally one of the best venues in the country. Not as far as capacity by any means, but like for what we deal with and everything,
Yeah.
X-Ray Arcade is beautiful. Again, in that sense, like Gabe's in Iowa City, Iowa. Like, these are all places that, like, I mean, Milwaukee maybe a little bit more, but like I feel like people would look over genuinely of like even stopping in these cities. But there's the stages and sounds and the staff and the crowd that comes out for some of these shows in the Midwest. It's just so hungry. Like, so we're a band based off of that, like, Midwestern desolated fucking hunger
Yeah.
of there's shit going on here. We're passionate. We're fucking here. So, um, yeah, I think that ties in a lot as far as like my connection to venues and stuff. Otherwise, we're looking at like, Texas, Little Rock, for scenes that really, really resonate with us. San Diego and shit for the weather.
Oh yeah, for sure.
For what we vibe with, for what we know, for what we've always worked with and like grown up with, like these Midwestern venues like that are very near and dear.
That's cool. I think a lot of people, you know, everyone, I feel like they sleep on the Midwest a lot, because when everyone talks, it's primarily they're looking at the coast, the East and the West Coast. Oh, I like this place for this, and not taking anything away from them because, like everywhere has got, I think, some great venues. Detroit's got Sanctuary, which is still, relatively
Yeah.
new, but a fucking killer place.
Yep.
But all over the place. And I don't know, I grew up in the Midwest, so to have those venues and to know like, oh, I can go, like you guys you're playing Hoosier Dome in Indianapolis.
Yep. Yep.
Hoosier Dome, but Black Circle's another one, which is fucking
We love
fantastic.
Black Circle. We
Yeah.
love Black Circle. Put there 2-3 times. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah. A lot of really good shows, places to have shows in the region, which is
Yeah,
fucking fantastic.
and promoters and staff that are supporting
Yeah.
and the hospitality and the promotion behind it. You know what I mean? That goes a long way for a lot of touring bands, and I just don't think a lot of bands outside of the Midwest understand the benefits of doing these like so-called middle and nowhere spots. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like even for you for Louisville, I know it gets a little bit more traction. We were talking about time zones earlier and shit, but like I don't know. I just feel like the Midwest. I mean, for sure for us, we're always playing in front of 150, 250 people in the Midwest because they're fucking hungry for it. They're ready
Yeah.
for it. They know the bands that are doing those cycles. And there's so many big tours that look at it as not even a B or a C
Right.
type town. Um so yeah, we make our home in that. You know what I mean? We've been building that for years, just based off of our own work schedules and getting to know people and being able to go where we can in 3-4 days, 7 days, building it up more and more to be able to get to the East Coast, to get to the West Coast.
Yeah.
But like we're from the middle of nowhere, so we get it. So we put on, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think, and that's great. I mean, obviously, um, I think we've got some really good bands here, and it's in recent years, it used to be you'd go out and you'd see, 5 or 6 people at some of these local shows. And I'll say probably over the last 10 or so years, the local shows are getting a lot more traction. A lot more people are coming out. It's like, fuck, good. Support the scene. Let's let's see what kind of talent we can have come out. We've got some killer fucking talent here that I'm just like, every time I see him, I'm just like blown away. Like
Yeah.
Redivider. Do you know
Yeah.
Redivider?
I love Redivider. I love
Dude.
Redivider. We played with them twice. I was just thinking of like Louisville bands I could shout out. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Redivider, fucking Pissed On.
Yeah.
Dude,
Uh,
yeah, absolutely.
Volcandra's fucking doing good things. Like,
Fuck yeah, fuck yeah.
oh,
I'm not
dude.
familiar, but
Oh,
I know that Louisville has a scene.
yeah. Yeah. It's fucking fantastic. Um, God. So now I'm gonna say I want you guys to come back to Louisville because, you know,
Yeah, we will.
because
We absolutely will.
hell yeah.
We got,
So
like you said, we got Indy in October, but I would expect springtime. We got a couple of routing dates I gotta still book up myself, so I
cool.
expect we'll be back in Louisville. Yeah, absolutely.
Killer. Let's get Redivider on that fucking bill.
Yeah, right. I might try to get them on a few shows actually.
Hell yeah. Good.
That's the beauty of being able to book, still be DIY, is like I can bring homies that I know we fuck with, that I
Yeah.
know when it's sick, and be like, hey, I already booked the dates. Come with us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, come on, let's do it.
I'm gonna tell you something funny. Redivider, I kept trying to see him, and every time like something came up, like I had to work or take care of kids or do something, and so finally I go to Indianapolis to Black Circle. They were doing Death in the Midwest, and I'm like, fuck yeah, like Redivider's here. I'm not missing it. We are right fucking here. And so I buy a fucking Redivider shirt. I'm super stoked. I'm like, let's fucking go. Two bands before, someone hits a telephone pole outside. The fucking electric shuts off for a minute. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I heard about that because our homies Deterioration were on that show.
Yeah, they were headlining.
Yeah,
Yep. And I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Well, the power came back on real quick, and I was like, oh yeah, dude, this is gonna be good. It was it was Yotuma that was fucking that was playing when they hit it. Then fuck, what was the other band? I don't remember. So the next band fucking gets up, two songs in, all the power shuts off, and they're like, okay, show's over. No.
just cut it off. Damn.
Yeah. Well, they someone hit the telephone pole outside and fucking they were out there trying to fix it. No clue on timeline. So
Also, shout out Yotuma.
yeah,
Fucking awesome band. Fucking
yeah,
awesome band.
love those dudes. Um,
Sorry, the week got me.
now I know, I see.
And I still hit it.
That's all right. So in the Jaws of Bereavement, what was the writing process like for you guys with that?
Um, on a few different levels, it was just like, okay, here we go. Um, we went from never wanting to write a full length to, you know, 2 years later, we're writing our second full length.
Yeah.
Um, it was definitely a chaotic time. I was going through some of the darkest shit that I've been through. Personally, keeping this going, I knew we had the December tour. We did like 2 weeks in December around our second Banging in the Rock in Little Rock appearance, that a great fest. Um, and we were writing this. It was just it was kind of a blur for me in a lot of ways. But like we were still meeting up pretty regularly. We always write as a full group at the rehearsal spot. Like so every song is has everybody dialed in, everybody pitching shit. Um, um, it was just like a wild time because we knew the busyness of our next year, which was already the last 6 months, 7 months. Like we were booked through June, July, in November, basically. Um, so as I was getting all that together, we were writing these songs. I'm coming up with different moods and different attachments to the songs, and then writing the lyrics. Um, and like I said, during a dark time, so it was just kind of like a whirlwind of just like, okay, here we go. Like we have this connection. We know how everybody vibes. We know the capabilities we have of like different people writing or different people taking charge, or just like, hey, I have this idea, and they're like, fuck yeah, let's run with that.
Yeah.
Like there was probably honestly only like two song ideas that got scrapped for a different, better idea that made the album. So um we're looking at 12 songs maybe out of 10 that made the cut, that made the like, okay, let's write more on this. Let's um I don't think I had or like lyric ideas for those other two. It just these ones felt more powerful, so let's continue on those. And that's the cool thing about all of us being involved, is just like we know what Maul sounds like, or
Yeah.
what Maul is to us. So it doesn't have to fit a box. It just has to pass the vibe test of all five or six of us. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that I think that's the cool thing about bands, like because you listen through In the Jaws of Bereavement, and obviously they all have a very similar style, but each of them are very unique. You know, like you can tell when you listen to it that you're not listening to the same first song. Whereas, you know, you listen to some bands, I won't call them out like AC/DC. You know what I mean? Like they're great, but I like a band that's willing to experiment a little bit and get out, you know, and do something new in a song.
Yeah, yeah, no, I agree. And like a lot of things that I like listening to are kind of on that vibe of like, I want this tone,
Yeah,
so I know who to hit up. You know what I mean? And then I'm gonna listen to that whole album, or I'm gonna listen to a Spotify "This Is," you know what I mean,
yeah,
list. Because like I don't really know what songs I want, I don't know what album I want, but I want that sound, and this band hits it,
yeah,
and that's sick. You know what I mean? Um, I'd like to think that Maul definitely has a like, oh yeah, that sounds like Maul, but also I don't know if many of our songs necessarily are under this exact same umbrella. You know what I mean? Some of
sure.
them are a lot different energy, a lot more upbeat, or more hardcore, or sludge, a little more doom, a way more experimental doom, like in the atmospheric, like
Yeah,
black metal side of it.
like so
Like that's just kind of all of our influences coming together, and
yeah.
we're not trying to sound like anything. We just are fucking down with all the things we like. So let's like, you know, I don't know. Yeah,
Well, you know, in my mind, that's where bands have longevity is they're not like, okay, we have to sound this very specific way. It's like, well, shit, let's like, no, I like this and I like this, and it's okay to like all of this and let those influences bleed over into the music,
yeah, yeah,
you know?
absolutely, absolutely. And I've touted this a couple times on some different things, but like, I mean, not that there's a dig or anything that they don't absolutely not listen to it, but like, there's three, four of our members that don't even like actively fanboy over death metal. You know what
Mm,
I mean?
yeah,
Like I do. I always have for a while, but I've always fanboyed about a bunch of different extremes. Our drummer, but there's like, you know, two of our guitarists, our bassist, you know, into hardcore, into metalcore, into all things legendary metal and kind of up to date stuff, but not necessarily like, oh shit, this is what Undeath is doing, or this is what
yeah,
Sanguisuga is doing. You know what I mean? And we're not like trying to do that at all. We're like, we're down with like our influences of Lamb of God and Killswitch Engage and fucking the things we grew up on, while also mixing in like some of our up to date, like in that underground hardcore scene of like Shabalba and Suburban Scum. And even I say up to date, but these are all like 2013,
yeah.
14. You know what I mean? Like that was our introduction to DIY music and like seeing how the music scene can and really does work. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Um,
I think that was a lot of people, right? So you had like I'm a little bit older, right? So growing up in the, you know, 80s and 90s watching the punk scene where that was all DIY and right? So you've got the national punk and then, you know, like especially the New York hardcore scene was they were all fucking DIY and to see those bands like I remember like reading stories of Sick of It All before I got to see them live and they're they're telling their story of going from, you know, 50 or 75 people a night in clubs to 3,000 people a night, you know, and it's like holy fuck, you did this on your own, you know, and metal was cool, but I feel like metal at that point wasn't so much DIY. There was a lot of
no,
DIY,
for sure.
but it was fuck, it was attached to a label or a producer or something that had a following that was like, "Oh, I like this dude for this reason, so I'm going to listen to what he's doing."
Yeah,
You know?
no, and absolutely. So my introduction to that was like I grew up a metalhead. You know, I got into the death metal. I got into heavier and heavier, into the grindcore, fucking obscure shit. I didn't really know a local music scene until it was like the DIY hardcore punk scene.
Yeah.
And I was already fully into metal and all this kinds of shit. So I'm talking like 2008, 9, 10, really into 2012, where I really learned like bringing through these really cool bands that are like, they have a lot of hype, like, or, I mean, essentially fast forward to like where we're at right now, like these types of bands, coming through small towns, small areas of just like, routing, because we're booking these ourselves through people we might know or bands we might know.
Yeah.
So that connection never ever hit me until those times. Um, and it was cool. It was so sick because like my only things before that was like Hit Parader and fucking
Yeah.
like the magazines that were coming out. Having posters on my wall of fucking Slipknot and Mushroom Head.
Oh, I think I lost you. Oh, you muted.
Uh, where it was like, oh shit, you can have this national touring band in a basement full of 80 to
Yeah.
130 kids, whatever, where it became like tangible of like, oh fuck, this is like right here. This is like, you know, so that kind of connection is super fucking cool to me. And that's where definitely the spirit of Maul has always been, because we've always been like metal kids, always been, but like the spirit, the work ethic of everything has always come from DIY hardcore punk, because that's what we got shown.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's where, I mean, that's where I like to live. I love to see bands that are like, cool. Like, we don't need a fucking label to support us. We're going to go and we're going to do our thing, whatever that looks like. Right. And they carve their own path. Right now, a big one for me is Hemorrhage out of San Francisco. Those dudes, they're like, pull up outside a show as the show's letting out. They do their 30 or 45-minute set, get shut down and move on.
That shit
But
is crazy. Seeing that bus and everything. Yeah, that's
yeah.
a wild. That's
And
so sick.
like, so they've done it so much that now they've been invited to play Louder Than Life and Aftershock, like on stages. Like, how fucking that's that's what every band, you know, wants, is they want people to reach out and go, you know what, we dig what you're doing. Why don't you come and play this event that, if you're booking, if you had a booking agent that would call us, we would never entertain you at all, you know?
Yeah, right. Yeah, because it's just part of the system at that point, right?
Yeah.
So that's something that we kind of like pride, like right now we're still DIY. We've been offered different support tours and stuff, but we're still operating as our own. We're still able to do all the things we want. We're just now accepting things that would have never been offered to us before.
Right.
But we're not tied down to like one agency or one thing, so, or one idea or somebody telling us what we can and can't do, because I just don't think we're interested in that, like, at all. Like, we want to take out our friends, or well, of course we want these like extra platforms and stuff like that, but yeah, I don't know. Like,
Well,
being able to still be our own machine is like very important to what we are.
yeah. Well, I think that's one thing I'll say about like Mastodon, right? Like, they take care of all their own merch and all that shit. So to even be at that level, because they're, shit, at this point they're fucking huge,
They're gigantic. Yeah,
you know,
gigantic.
and to still have their hand right there, and they're still doing what they want when they want. It's not, I think that's the ultimate dream for any band, is like, we're gonna play music and we're gonna do it our way. Who
Yeah,
cares?
I think that stubbornness and just like that honing by yourself, and then the willingness to fucking teach that kind of shit, or fucking, if people are asking, is, because you don't need a middleman necessarily. You know what I mean? Of course there's benefits. Of course there's benefits to big name labels and stuff, but
But is
to
there?
do the things that you like seek out of art, to like, be your music and fucking be with your friends and shit like that, like, you can do that and still make Not a living, but you know what I mean. But like you
No,
can make it work.
you
You can make the machine yourself
you
without
absolutely can
relying
make a
on it.
living.
Absolutely.
You can make a really good living at it. Like look at Tech Nine, right?
Absolutely.
He's
Absolutely.
always done it himself. Everything that he puts out is his. He owns all the publishing. That in my mind, that's where bands really miss out. They sign with a larger label, and that label's like, "Hey, cool, we're gonna take publishing." Like, for what? You didn't write the fucking songs,
Right. Right.
you know?
Right. Right.
So,
Writing. Yeah. No, sorry.
so it's like, uh, I think now, last thing I read, he's worth almost 100 million.
I believe that. Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
holy shit. And he did it all himself.
Yeah.
So I wholeheartedly believe that, a DIY death metal band can do the same thing.
Yeah. Absolutely. And like another one that comes to mind, of course, this is like mainstream, but it's still very underground, still very niche. Fucking Insane Clown Posse.
Yeah.
They never, I don't, to my knowledge, they've never had a major backing. They built shit themselves. It kept going, it kept going. Um, and like those kind of ethics, those kind of things aren't, Tech Nine, ICP. They're not limited to fucking hip hop. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like it is about the connections. It is about actually getting to know the people that you're working with and getting to know the scenes that you're fucking involving yourself in. Where we, like I said, Iowa City and Milwaukee or Springfield, Illinois, Springfield, Missouri. These are, of course, personal experiences, but that middle of nowhere rotation of getting to know the people and fucking the bands that you're hanging out with and becoming friends with is like so fucking important
Yeah.
for anybody. Getting to know your limits and doing it regularly and then spreading out more and more because you're still honing it is fucking the only secret you need to doing a band, really.
That's
Like,
that's it. It's fucking hard work that I think a lot of people don't understand going into it. Being in a band is, I'm going to call it what it is. It's a sales job. You know,
in a
you're
way, yeah, yeah, yeah,
you're out
absolutely.
there to meet people, to be in front of people, sell t-shirts, CDs, whatever garb you have to get rid of, or whatever merch you have.
Yeah,
So it is a sales job. And to know, the best salesman or salesperson knows their client. So you go out to Springfield, Missouri, or Iowa City, or Milwaukee, and when you go there, it's not just your client, you're seeing friends,
you're seeing friends, every one of those places, absolutely. And that's so
so
fucking. It's friends showing up to the show. It's friends that work at the fucking venue that are
yeah.
doing sound, that are your promoters. Like you get stoked to see these people, and they're stoked to have you back because you have a good work ethic. That shit goes so much fucking farther than what you think writing the perfect album will be, or you know what I
Right.
mean. Like being
Yeah.
out there and meeting the motherfuckers is everything. Is everything. You know
It
what I mean?
it fucking is. And that's,
Yeah.
we look at, and I always harken back to the early days of thrash, with Slayer and Metallica and Anthrax and Megadeth. Like, what did those guys do? They got in the fucking van or the U-Haul or whatever they had, and they went and they toured, and they fucking toured and toured and toured. And look at them now. All of those fucking bands.
Absolutely. And that's always been the mantra of Maul too, is like, let's go play.
Yeah.
Let's see where we can go. Let's see where we can fucking go. Um, and there's still the three of us that are the originals since 2017 of just like keeping that hunger of like, and then throughout those years, kind of like cultivating the crew and the homies that are down to do it with us. Like we've had a bunch of different fill-ins on guitar, but for the last 3-4 years, we've had the same bassist who's got the same mindset. So there's four of us now
Hell
that
yeah.
are like, let's fucking go. Let's fucking play the world. Let's do us everywhere we can, dude. Because like, why the fuck not?
Yeah. Well, and
So
that's
that,
but that's
yeah,
how you fucking do it, right?
yeah,
And I think the longevity of bands kind of goes back to what we were saying earlier, is you play music that is genuine and authentic to you. right? Like, oh, this is what we want to do. Cool, that sounds great. Let's do that. Versus like, oh, this will sell us 1 million copies. Because right, if that's your fucking mindset going into it, you you get your
You've already
frustration.
lost.
Yeah. Your
You've already
frustration
lost.
at that first fucking no, you're like, but it's the best shit ever. Fuck you. I quit. Like,
Yeah, no, you're already beating yourself. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely,
you know.
absolutely. And
So
like we
go
we can
ahead.
be like super proud of the stuff we've written, but that's because we know the like emotional attachment that we've all put into it. I don't. I'm never going to claim that like of course, just as a, like an artist and a self-aware artist, it's like we're not writing the best shit ever, but we're writing shit that's important to us, that's real to us, and we're being us. I don't know if much more matters to that. You know what I mean? Like, and
It
we're
doesn't.
vibing. So
That
as long as
nothing.
we believe it, that's how you get other people to believe it. And that's fucking pro wrestling. That's fucking art. That's everything. So
It's everything. 100
yeah,
fucking
yeah,
percent, and that's the funniest thing is the best salesman believes in his product.
yeah,
Like,
absolutely,
how do you believe in it? You just be authentic with it, whatever the
yeah,
fuck it is.
yeah.
That's where it's
Wherever it
at.
is, absolutely.
Yeah. God, that's fucking great.
Hell
For
yeah.
all you, Garrett and I are selling a fucking sales course,
Check it
not
out. Check it
nine
out. What are we selling?
$99. It's a sales course. We're going to teach you how to really sell. $99. It's all it
We're gonna
takes.
teach you how to sell you, and not your
Yeah.
body, but you.
You sell
If
your
you want to sell your body, all right, we'll fix that in post.
Oh fuck. That's good shit. So you said you were like going through a dark time within the jaws of bereavement. Is there anything you want to like talk about in there?
um, I mean, like just like what it is, what it is. I was experiencing a divorce, I guess, not by my choice. Some betrayal, things like that. So like it was just a dark period going into what around here in the north, in the south, and just the weather in general is already a dark
Yeah.
time. That they say season depression, but it's very real, especially in North Dakota. Especially in that December through March time where it's, reaching 50, 60 below with wind chills. Like, it's fucking dumb. It's dumb. And we're still expected to go to work and fucking do all these things. But people are stuck in the middle of the road because plows can't keep up. And, uh, you know, uh, so I was going through, a major, just world shock of in the writing and touring recording process. I was fucking homeless for 2 months, just getting my fucking life together. I was living in the tour bus that we fucking built. um so like there's things to be very thankful for, and like I said, concentrate on being able to invoke slash relate the writing process to these real life holes, and that cathartic process behind it, which Maul has always kind of been based on, just completely unexpectedly for LP2, I guess. So
Yeah.
the album is definitely like layered in that grief and that kind of like directionless anger and just figuring shit out. Not all of it, but a good deal of it is. I guess I'm not like embarrassed to say that. It is kind of like, it's not like full fucking directional attack on anybody. You know what I mean? But it's
Yeah.
like it's real life feelings of like what's going on, processing that. The observation of the world around you and how you're surviving is very much. I mean, dating back fucking 4 or 5 years of Mall, like where we kind of figured out what is really us. Our demo in 2018, soaked in penance, solicit the torture, was like right after I broke my back in wrestling, and like one of the fucking lines is like "way to the world breaking your back spine" or some shit. I can't remember, but you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
finding that channel of like what's really going on and how to convey it and express it in a way that's digestible to other people that isn't very specific, but it is also coming from a real direction. Like
Yeah.
I love that. And then also taking it into scenes that make it death metal, you know what I mean? Like that like urge to dissect all the worst parts of yourself and fucking, you know what I mean? And like I wrote like Carrie and Totem about that, or Chain Hanged and Drained, like different scenarios where it's like creating something better out of the destruction of yourself, or you know what I mean, like things like that. And that's probably not original, but that's just like where I'm coming from. I don't know.
Well, you know, original and authentic. I think if
Yeah,
it's authentic, who cares if it's original? You know what I mean?
right, right.
Um, I, and that's, you know, I think I wrote for a lot of years, and I don't even play anymore, but it, you know, it helped me process a lot of things that were pretty fucked up. And I'm pretty fucked up now, so I probably need to like do some more shit. But for you, like writing that, did it helped you process and kind of get beyond those dark times?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I recognize that, and it's, you know, there's like a lot of self healing tech, self soothing, whatever it is, like that artists do.
Yeah.
I know there's like an umbrella behind like artistry and like that major self pity, self everything. But I don't know. I also do believe that there's a connection behind those types of people that are able to convey it into art for other people to like hear them or to digest. Is pretty cool to me. I'm not afraid to admit I'm just a nerd for shit that makes you feel right. You know what I mean? Um,
Well, you know,
so
I think that's the beauty about music though, right? Because even the fans, whether they're gonna call it that or not, like I'm such a nerd for anything like that, right?
same,
That's where the connection really comes in, and it doesn't matter if it's, you know, wrestling or music or painting or poetry or whatever,
right,
right? It
right,
comes from a place in someone, and someone, you know, people connect to it.
yeah. That's the most powerful, important shit to me. That's
Yeah.
what art is. You know what I mean? Is like having that channel, whatever that means. So, and I learned that through wrestling. You know, I always loved like high school plays and bullshit like that. You know what I mean? So I was always down with performing, with bringing something else out, making something more funny or more cool than real life is. So
Yeah.
music was always one of those main things. Like before I could fucking talk, I was headbanging to blues and rock and roll records like that my parents still talk about. So
Hell
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Um, I've always just been that, I guess. So
Always been a,
yeah,
you know,
got
like
it.
connected with it. And that's,
Here we are, fucking 30 years later.
yeah. Well, and, you know, I think the funniest thing is like, you know, with mental health, our biggest issue with mental health is the lack of connection.
Hmm.
You know, when we're feeling connected, and a lot of people are connected through those things, through music, whatever, you know, it doesn't matter if it's country or classical or jazz or whatever, right?
Right,
Like people connect with that. Um, and it, when you have that connection and, you know, like you able to go out on stage and put it out there, and I assume that you absolutely connect with the fucking crowd when you're there, which you get off stage and you're probably exhausted, but you feel really at peace almost, you
yeah.
know?
No, absolutely. All of that is like 100%. Especially with touring, you know, obviously every day you can't be fucking on as a human, you know what I mean?
Right.
So add that on to driving a long time or riding a long time, loading in and then waiting to potentially, you know, whenever you fucking play, um, that everyday grind of that can be fucking wild. But there's that 30, 30-minute, 35-minute window of where we're on stage, and it's like that connection is undeniable. You know what I mean? The whole room is there for that feeling,
Yeah.
and I'm feeling it. I know that our dudes are feeling it. I know that people who are fucking somehow learning the words to death metal songs, screaming along with me, like that shit is fucking so powerful that that's that's what I've been always about. I just finally found it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's it's so real. And just that vibe, you know, whether people are moshing or just fucking smiling, headbanging, stage diving, um, being dog shit tired and sitting behind the merch table and talking to people who are stoked about seeing the shit that you and your friends have been creating. Like, I don't know. There's this like you can't really beat that for me. Like that's like fuck. That just feels so real to what I've always wanted, to what I've like felt. So the road, the seeing the world, the different cities every night, the fucking meeting people who are into the same shit that you're into, who are down with the shit you're doing, who are supporting the lifestyle that we can live out there. Like that's I don't know. That's fucking awesome, dude.
Hell yeah, it
it's,
is.
yeah,
It is. And that, to be able to connect with those people who are digging what you do is like, holy fuck. Like we just did this because it was cool and fun. And like you dig it?
yeah,
Fuck
right.
yeah.
Absolutely. And there's like some of those other like just like deeper questions about like maybe a certain song or a certain thing, and you're just like, we're from North Dakota, right? Like, like we're nobody, like, you know what I mean? Like, but like somebody from across the country, like, really fucking cares, did that extra digging, learn the words, found their own connection. Like, that type of shit is like, dude, this is fucking death metal. Like, dude, three of us are from the same reservation in Minnesota. Like I
Right.
said, we're from North Dakota. Like, it's kind of wild that anybody even knows us. So, Um, yeah, I've said this 1,000 times, but like we're always the group of people who are just fucking happy to be here and not afraid to fucking be us because it really is that. You know what I mean? There's
Yeah.
nothing to put on. There's nothing to put on. We might be fucking dog shit tired. We might be a little bit drunk, but
Or a lot drunk, whatever.
a lot drunk or a lot drunk. That's okay.
Yeah.
But we're gonna fucking be the same on stage, and we're going to be the same in person, of just that connection, because that's like what makes us go.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fucking cool. I can see it on your face talking to you, like how much you enjoy it, right? Like
And
you meet people, I meet a lot of people all the time, and a lot of times it's blank stares,
mm-hmm.
just like they're doing their daily fucking grind, get up, go to work, come home, kiss the wife, eat dinner, go to bed, do it all over again. And then you meet people who are um they're where they're supposed to be. You know what I mean? And you can see it on their
Yeah,
face. They're just like, man, this is just fucking awesome and appreciative, and like that makes me happy as fuck,
yeah, dude.
right?
Yeah, I love thriving off of that shit, dude. Absolutely.
Yeah, I was like growing up, what I was told, like my dad always thought I was going to go work in the factory. I was going to retire from GM like him, and I was like, there ain't no fucking way. That's not my life. I
That's
like
not me. Yeah, that's not me.
I'm grateful that this is how we were raised, but I got other things that I want to do. Like,
Yeah,
so I love it when other people are doing what they want to do and not just grinding in the factory to waste their years away, you know?
right, right. And I did that for a little bit, where I was like, hell yeah, this is like a lot of money, and then in it, I just knew it didn't fucking resonate with me. I was like, dude, I'm just a fucking number right now. Like,
Yeah.
and I went to fucking back of house. I went to kitchen work, which is even more thankless, but a little more leaning appreciative towards a touring band
Yeah.
schedule. So I can tell restaurants, hey, I'm doing this in a few months, and I'm going to be gone for a month, so I'll be back. You can't really tell that to the work and grind style, and that just was never me. Like I hated being ground down like that. So
Yeah, me fucking too. It was I'm grateful for my wife, right? Because we were together for probably like 6 years. We were married some point in there at about 4 years. And 2 years into being married, she's like, "You hate your job." I'm like, yes, yes, I fucking do. She's like, "Cool, now it's your turn. I got through school, I'm doing my thing. Now you go do yours." Hell yeah. Now it's, doing all the fucking random things. Uh-oh. You're muted again. I don't know how to unmute you. There we
Hello?
go. There you are.
Okay. Okay. Sorry about that.
Now you're fine.
Here.
I'm like, no.
We can
So,
fix it, right? Can you fix that?
eh,
Eh,
maybe. I might just let it roll because I don't really do a lot of editing.
sure. Well, fuck
It
it, dude. Fuck it.
it's the real shit. You see the fuck ups and everything.
I wish I had my fucking.
So, is there a song on In the Jaws of Bereavement that you like more than another song or that you connect with more, maybe?
This. Okay. Yes, for a couple different reasons. That I feel like that might be a general artist answer because, like, I do have attachments to every song, right? I
Yeah.
really do. Um, it's funny we got a lot of online hate for the title track because it's like so hardcore influence,
Yeah.
which is cool. I don't care. Like we've clearly you're getting introduced to Maul because we've always been a death metal band influenced by hardcore and sludge, like always for 7 years now. So, um, but also there was like 50 comments fucking talking hating on us on Reddit, so I'll take that as a win, dude. Like Reddit hates us? Hell yeah, we finally like no one, dude.
Yeah.
um uh but there's different attachments to every song. For me, I mean, in Alluring Deceit definitely stands out, just as far as like it's so different than anything Maul's done. um It's very real. It's very atmospheric, but it's very like in your face. It's a different delivery. It's a different. It'd be funny to show someone that who has never known us and say that's Maul, but then show them the rest of us. You know what I mean? But it's not. It's not us. I don't know. I don't know.
Right.
I might be rambling. Um, but that style, that message, that delivery, that atmosphere of an alluring to sit is definitely something that stands out a lot to me. And that was originally only supposed to be an interlude, um, but it just kind of grew on some parts. It grew on some dynamics. I started writing lyrics. I got inspiration. It became its whole own thing. So we added a noise interlude at the end of it. So that's the end of side A on the vinyl is an
Mm.
alluring deceit. And if you're listening to the record, that's the middle of it, and then after that, silence is like our anthem. It comes in Midwest Death, and it's just right away Midwest Death, and it's like here comes the next chapter of like, oh yeah, we're atmospheric and like whatever, but we're also about to fucking
Stop some
blood you.
brains.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. So I don't know. I that's the one track that stood out as soon as you asked me that. Weaving Cerebral Horrors is like probably one of our more powerful tracks. We played it live for a few tours already. Um, I'm just really, really stoked on the arrangement of that song.
Fuck me too. That's like listening to the album, that one sticks out to me the most. And I'm like, oh
Fuck yeah,
fuck. Like as soon as
fuck
I
yeah.
heard it, I was like, oh fuck.
Right. And fuck yeah, thank you, dude. Thank you. And there's like, there's some like black metal influence in there. There's a lot of like that sludgy hardcore, like Crowbar,
Yeah.
Left Behind, I Am kind of influence in it. Um, and not intentionally, but that's just like the kind of things we're into, you know what I mean? Um, yeah, fuck yeah. I could probably make an argument for every song on it of why I like it though, so I won't go that in depth.
Yeah, but I like the album, it's solid all the way through. And it's I think, I said it before and I'll say it again. I think each song is different enough to keep people interested to hear what else is coming, because you're jamming out and you don't know. And then, you've got, I don't even remember what song, but it's that fucking slow part with the little spoken word. It's like, hold on, where did that come from?
Wait, the minute long spoken word part?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, right? And damn, I had that spoken word part kind of written for that out of nowhere before the rest of the song was kind of written, which is fun. Um, because that intro kind of had a couple different iterations. That is the song Unbridled Delusions. So yeah, there's a quite a not that long of a spoken word part, right? But it's like,
It's a little bit like not,
it's like 5, 6 measures or whatever the fuck. I
yeah.
don't even know. Um, very God, I don't even know what inspiration that would come from. Like I don't even know what directly like would influence that other than just like my own stylings, my own attitude of like presenting things. I have dug that in some more like metalcore style bands. I couldn't even name one off the top of that like give me that inspiration, but
Well, you know what
just like breaking that up with like it could be even like a verse repeated, but it's like spoken a little bit
yeah.
differently. And I like that dynamic a lot of like really nailing what this song is about.
Yeah. No, it adds such a great dynamic to the album, when everything's relatively heavy, and then you get this soft spoken part. It's like, whoa, hold on. I need to
Right.
like pay attention. What's going on here?
Right. And like the riff and the rest of the song is still going pretty fucking hard. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But it's changing up that styling or that vocal delivery and like making it feel a lot more in depth than just a lot more screaming or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I do take a lot of pride in my lyrics that I write. So like being able to present it like that is kind of fun. I've always dabbled a little bit in the spoken word parts. There's a little bit in Seraphic, there's a little bit in some other stuff. Um,
It
there's
really,
some things,
it
yeah.
reminds me of Metallica and Justice for All, To Live Is to Die,
Fuck yeah,
you
fuck
know?
yeah. That's probably their best album.
Yeah. But it's a toss up. Like Ride, Master, and Injustice, like all three of them are powerful in their own
Pretty
right.
perfect, right? Pretty perfect.
Yeah,
I love Injustice though.
so do I. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I thank you for that. Yeah, there's a fun dynamic of just not being in your face, blah 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 blah, but like hearing these words that make you think about them is like fun to me as an artist, someone who appreciates writing. Hearing that kind of things that can be obviously perceived very corny,
Yeah.
and it can be very fucking corny. Don't get me wrong. There's a little bit where I'm like, are there too many fucking talking parts in this? But you know, I just think I mean, obviously, it's how you present it, how you again back to like how you feel it and believe it.
Yeah,
It's not forced in there just because. It's just like that's how the song should feel. So
absolutely. fits really well, really fucking well. And the way the album flows, it flows really, really fucking well. I'm just, I'm a vinyl guy, so my my question is, what variants are you guys gonna have with this?
All the variants are on the 20 Bucks Bin website right now. Um, so this is again the first time that I've ever been like with the touring, like completely kind of hands off of like what things end up looking like.
Hmm.
Not completely. Like I still completely um directed, inspired the artist Wormwalk to do our album cover. Um, all the song titles, everything is still me, but like oh my god, I just blanked out.
We were talking about the vinyl.
The vinyl variants. So redefining darkness with Seraphic Punishment, we did 3 different pressings. Um, I was involved with all of those of like what they would look like, maybe the different colors we could do. And not that there's anything wrong with this. This is the first time that I was presented like, oh, here's our guy. Here's what he does. Here's what he thinks. And they were all great. They're fucking awesome. Of course, they are. 20 Bucks Spin destroys their vinyl variants all
Yeah.
the time. They're always so fucking cool. Shit that I could never think of. It's just the first time that we've dealt with that as a band. So there's 3 different wild multicolor ways. There's the original black. Um, I couldn't even tell you what the cassette shell looks like because I'm really not sure. I know the CD label is more of that like golden orange yellow face of it that matches like the Jaws and the logo. But yeah, it's kind of like fun to be in this situation where I'm like, oh shit, like I trust these people, this platform, these designers. It's just like it's the first time it's like out of my
Yeah. You don't have your
complete
finger on the
decision.
pulse the whole
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it was just cool because they came up with a couple different really cool ones. There's like an orange and bone type flavor. There's one that matches more of the, like the sea and the sky background with that like teal and blue. Um, that might not even be the right colors, but you know what I mean. You know what I
Yeah.
mean. Things that are just yeah. I trust 20 Bucks Man. I trust that type of platform and what they do to take care of us
It's nice to be
because
in that position when
yeah,
when you've got someone you can say, "Oh, okay, like I trust what you're doing." Awesome.
absolutely, absolutely. Even if it's brand new, I'm like, okay, hell yeah, of course I
Yeah.
know, of course I
Right.
know. I've just never been in it to be okay with it. So hell yeah, let's go.
Yeah. First time for everything, and
Yeah.
now it's just gonna like explode for you all, I feel like.
So I have been on my own right, hiring different artists for each song. So there's a completely different style, a completely different direction with artists around that I know. And I've just been sending them the lyrics and the fucking song file, and I'm like, if you want to ask me anything, go ahead. But otherwise, just do your. I'm hitting you up because I trust your style.
Yeah.
Um, and we did that. They're online right now, like the single art for In the Jaws of Bereavement and the single art for Spontaneous Stigmata. Um, but yeah, I have an artist working on every song pretty much, so we can have for different shirts or different things. Or but again, it's just kind of adding that complete different identity to every song by having a representation by a different eye too, which
Yeah.
is fun.
And
Yeah,
how
and I love
fucking
that.
yeah, how cool is that? Like, because how many people actually take the time and the energy and put that much into each song particularly?
I love that idea. You know what I mean? Because again, they're their own things. So
Yeah.
and then we just meet so many cool people that are in bands or just doing art for bands or involved with the scene. And it's just like I love your fucking work. Like if we can help each other out, let's fucking go. So
Hell yeah. Well, that's, I think that's how uh scenes or communities really like thrive is when everyone is helping everyone. You know, you've got obviously the artists, you've got the bands, you've got the promoters, and when everyone's friends, it's like, well, fuck, I want to work together like you. Like, shit, I want to take Redivider out on some dates with us.
Yeah.
Like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
You because they're a great band and you're friends with them. Like, this
Yeah.
is
Absolutely. We've
so
done that so many times already now with different people. Like, yo, we fuck with you. Like, you
yeah,
ready? Let's go. You got a touring vehicle? Let's go. Because that's fun to us. Because like I know how to do those steps. Not saying that these other people don't, but like whatever wave we're building, fucking we fuck with you, come with us. You know what
yeah,
I mean? And
yeah.
I love being able to facilitate that. I love being involved in any way of that, just because it's like this is the community that I've always been looking for. So it's fucking just cool for everybody that I can connect with to be involved with it, right? Um,
Yeah, hopefully.
and
And
then now being a part of it where it's like we're getting support offers with people that we like look up to or that people that we like brush shoulders with a little bit, but it's like fuck, like this is it's the same thing. It's just a little bit more. Now we're in a different position where like, hey, they've definitely heard of us or they've definitely fucked with us, and it's like by what we've been doing. So let's keep doing us and
yeah,
do it a little bit more. So it's just it's just kind of keeping that wave going and being cognizant of it because it's like we put on so fucking hard for North Dakota, for Fargo. We're always 701 this, fucking Midwest at that. Like so yeah, it's just keeping that moving. Just keeping it moving.
that's
It's
how it
cool.
should be, right? Everyone helping everyone. Like fucking, bands that fuck with each other, they should take
Oh,
each other out. What band is there a band out there that you guys really want to go out on the road with?
probably a few. I feel like there's things that we've like been a part of that we've always been representing that other bands have been doing it on a bigger, more known scale. Um, there's a lot of cool fucking synergy right now with death metal and hardcore that we've like always been about. Um, not from a bitter aspect by any means, but is this fucking not from a bitter aspect, but like we grew up in the hardcore scene. We've always been kind of a more death metal band, influenced by that energy, by that like style, by that workings of how things go. Um, and it's cool as fucking shit to see band like legacy bands like Obituary and Dying Fetus on these hardcore fests,
Yeah,
and uh, you know, hardcore kids or newer people into the music scenes being like crazy down with it. And there's also the old head mentality of like this should never cross, these should never be like bunch of posers getting into them through hardcore. Is like, no dude, like I don't think any of that shit matters. Of course it doesn't
no,
actually, but um seeing that type of shit is like, I don't know, stuff that I've always like. It's the blending of my two worlds. You know what I mean? It's not the
yeah,
first time. I know Hatebreed has taken out Obituary and 6 Feet Under and fucking the '90s. You know what I mean? But they were also getting hate all the time for trying to coalesce those things. Um,
yeah. But and they
it's
still
just
do it, which is fucking fantastic, right?
it's
Like,
awesome.
because I'm with you. Like you go to a show, and like I'm not opposed to going to just a hardcore show. I'm not opposed to going to just a metal show. But if we can throw both of those together, like actually, Hatebreed and Obituary played a LDB fest,
Yeah.
which is a fucking
Yep.
hardcore fest. So
Yep. And that's fucking. That's the shit that I was like alluding to. Is like, how cool is that to see?
yeah,
And these fucking younger kids, these people who have never been involved with the 35 years of Obituary being like
right,
stoked on it. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
that's fucking, there's no bitterness of that introduction. Like, fuck that. That's so cool. Or even people who have been down with it and show out, and that maybe that's their introduction to a hardcore fest. Like, that shit's fucking cool too, dude. Like,
yeah.
it's all the same fucking team. You know, if you take egos, you take fucking weird shit aside, maybe some fashion stuff, but you know, it's all the same fucking team. We're all doing the same shit. DIY agents or not. A lot of them are the same venues. A lot of them are the same kids fueling those scenes.
Yeah.
It's weird to have any kind of barrier. So that's the
Well,
shit that we've always kind of been about, dude. We have hardcore attitude, death metal music, whatever variants that means. You know what I mean?
yeah. And for so long it was like, for me growing up, it was always like, if you're a metal kid, you're a metal kid. You don't listen to hardcore, you don't listen to
Hmm.
punk, and those worlds they didn't cross. But I'm like, but I like it all. I don't fucking care if I'm supposed to be a metal kid or whatever. Like,
Right,
I like the music. I fucking
right,
Who gives a shit? Let's just go to the show.
right.
Like the fucking band for the band.
Yeah, I like heavy things. That's
Yeah,
cool.
that's it. All right, Garrett. I know you got things to do tonight. I greatly appreciate you taking time out of your night to come and chat with me. Um,
Absolutely.
I've had a lot of fun talking with you. I think you're a cool dude. I fucking really, really dig
Like,
the fucking In the Jaws of Bereavement. It's it is such a solid fucking album. I think there's going to be a lot of pleased people when it comes out.
thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate you giving it the listen that you do, and then taking the time to want to talk to us. So that's badass, dude. Again, just some dudes from fucking North Dakota. So
Yeah,
anywhere
that
in the country taking the time to know us, to talk to us, to fucking promote us, to any of that shit is fucking crazy. So
yeah,
yeah, absolutely appreciate that shit.
hell yeah, dude. That's how we fucking get you guys out there to more people, whatever that looks like.
Yeah,
That
fucking
way
a.
that way you keep making more music so we can enjoy more music.
Keep it rolling.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, go have yourself a great night.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yep. See ya.